Hello, Sean.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Tech Tuesday. And I started last week talking about something that's quite close to my heart because it's something that I had. And so far, I can say, hopefully, that I don't have it anymore. And that is the condition called arthritis. Now, arthritis, by definition, is an inflammation of the joint. And a joint is anywhere where two bones come together. Now, some joints are more flexible than others. It's a good thing that the joints in our skull are not too flexible, otherwise, we'd be in trouble. However, at birth, they do need to be flexible. But wherever two bones come together, there's cartilage. And what happens with arthritis is that that cartilage wears away and causes then two bones to rub together. Now, if you've ever taken two rocks and you've rubbed them together, and then you feel them after a little bit, you'll feel that they are quite warm. And that's because of a little thing called friction. Now, when two bones come together, it causes friction. And where there's friction, there's heat, which in the human body we call inflammation. And all disease is caused by inflammation. So I went through last week the basics about what arthritis is and the different types, and there's quite a few different types. So please feel free to go back and check out the recording. And I'm going to start off or carry on where I picked up last week. And I stopped where we were talking about exercise. Go there. All right. So the topic again is arthritis. What is it and why is it so debilitating? Now, for those who don't know me, I by day am a what's known as a certified orthotist, which means that I work in the medical field. I work very closely with doctors and physios, and I'm part of the rehab team, for want of any better terminology. And I help people by supplying braces and compression stockings and inner soles and that sort of thing. So as a result, I see quite a few patients suffering from arthritis. And I do mean suffering because if anybody has got arthritis or knows somebody who has arthritis, you will know it is pain with a capital P. Obviously, in some cases, a lot worse than others. And in certain types of arthritis, like rheumatoid, it can be quite crippling because it crumples up your hands so that you can barely use them. You can't straighten fingers, can affect your toes and feet. And it's just generally a very, very painful, debilitating condition or disease and not fun. So just to simplify things, think about arthritis as rust. Uh, those of us who live near the coast will know all about rust. We call it down here South Coast cancer because that's exactly what happens. Any piece of metal that becomes exposed to the air automatically rusts. And when we first moved to the coast, all of our leather work also started to rust because it all went all furry and nasty. It's obviously stabilized since then, but that's what happens when you move down here. And our bodies, just like metal, rust, but we call it arthritis. Now, you'll know that if a hinge rusts, it's very, very difficult to move it. But as long as you're moving it, the rust can't stick and the joint will keep moving or the hinge will keep moving. Exactly the same as in our body. If you keep moving your joints, the arthritis will have limited chance to attach and to fuse. So keep moving as much as possible. And obviously, in a lot of cases, it is very painful. But sometimes you have to work through that pain before you can become pain free. Now, one of the things that we can do is exercise, but please be careful Do not attempt anything that is out of your league. And if in doubt, contact your local physiotherapist or biokineticist or even a personal trainer at your local gym and ask them to help you and guide you. Because as I always say to people, there's exercise, then there's the correct exercise. When you have arthritis, movement can decrease your pain and stiffness and improve your range of motion, strengthen your muscles, and increase your endurance. All important factors, because if you just curl yourself up into a ball and stay there, what happens? Everything rusts, everything seizes, and you have a lot of extra pain. So in the beginning, when you start to move, yes, there will be pain, but as soon as those joints warm up, the pain tends to decrease. Arthritis likes warmth. It does not like cold. So what do you need to do? What sort of exercises should you do? You need to choose the right kinds of activities, those that build the muscles around your joints, but don't damage the joints themselves. A physical or occupational therapist can help you develop an exercise program that's right for you. Again, I will say you get exercise, then you get the correct exercise and the correct way. Speak to a medical professional. A physical therapist is somebody who's trained to deal with rehabilitation, acute rehabilitation. An occupational therapist does a similar thing, but they work on more fine motor movements, especially in the hands. And then for the next level as well, for longer term rehabilitation, you can also speak to a biokineticist who is very much like a physiotherapist, but sort of the next level up and therefore longer term rehab. Focus on stretching, range of motion exercises, and gradual progressive strength training. Don't go to the gym and think that you're going to pick up a 25 kilo low weight first time and immediately start bench pressing this. It's not going to happen. And you need to include low impact aerobic exercise, such as walking, cycling, or water exercises to improve your mood and help control your weight. For those who know me, you know I'm a big fan of our local park run. And we call it park run, but there's actually a subdivision called park walk. And this is designed for all ages, all fitness levels. Pretty much anyone can walk, unless you're in a wheelchair, obviously. But you don't have to do the full 5 kilometers in park run. If you're just walking 100 meters a day, makes all the difference. And if that 100 meters takes you an hour and a half, don't worry. At least you're moving. That's the important part. So you don't have to go out and join an aerobic class and jump around and skip and go crazy. Just simple, basic movements. In fact, you can even sit in a wheelchair and move your upper body. Even if you are quadriplegic in a lot of cases, there is some movement that can be done. And if you're moving, you're not freezing. Makes all the difference. And I know when I'm finished my park run, I feel really good because the endorphins are there and you feel, you know that you've worked out, you've had good exercise, you've brought in some good oxygen into your body, and you just feel good. It improves your mood no end. I look at it as my de-stress session for the week. And the more stressful the week, the better my run on a Saturday. It's worth it. And now that we're getting to the warmer times of the year, if you do battle with some forms of exercise, and if you have access to a swimming pool, in a lot of cases, it might help if it's a heated pool, get in the water. You don't have to swim. Simply walk in the water because you can have a very good workout through exercises in a swimming pool without putting any excess load on your body. So for rehab, aquatherapy is brilliant. But sometimes it takes, or should I say, the best thing is to work with somebody like a physio or an aquatherapist who's trained on how to guide you. Now, can diet improve your arthritis symptoms? Through the centuries, many claims have been made about the influence of dietary habits and nutritional supplements on arthritis, according to the Harvard Medical School. Some of these claims are supported by medical evidence, and some are just theory. Some are just, well, I ate this and this helped me. You decide. What they call anecdotal evidence. However, for most of these claims, we're just not sure. So, from a medical perspective, nobody is going to put their head on a block and say, if you eat ABC, you will be cured of arthritis. Sorry, you are not cured of arthritis. It can go into remission. Just like cancer, you do not cure cancer. It goes into remission, meaning that the symptoms disappear. So in my case, I can say that the arthritis that I had in my wrist and my thumb is in remission and has been for numerous years. Will it come back? I don't know. Can I prevent it from coming back? I don't know. Maybe one day when I'm old and gray, it might come back. I don't know. But right now, through some basic exercise, through staying active, lifestyle changes, and dietary changes, and a few dietary supplements, I can say that I have reversed the arthritis symptoms in my wrist and my thumb, and currently I am pain-free. Am I cured? No. Even without all the proof, there are many healthy nutritional ideas that you can consider. First of all, weight control. Weight plays a huge role in so many aspects. So if you can get to your ideal weight, it is the best thing. That is why they call it ideal. So this one has a lot of evidence behind it. Being overweight is a major risk factor for osteoarthritis, which is the wear and tear type. Theoretically, losing just a few kilograms might diminish the discomfort. It all depends on how advanced your condition is. Weight loss reduces the stress on joints. One study found that a loss of just 0.5 kilograms, so half a kilo of body weight, reduces the load on your knees by 1.8 kilograms. That's a significant difference. Half a kilogram, 500 grams, which is a small packet of rice or sugar, you lose that amount and you've already lost the equivalent, or if you reduce the load, the equivalent of nearly 2 kilograms on your knees. Imagine if you lose 3 or 4 kilograms in weight, how much less stress is being put on your knees. And I see people with knee pain very regularly. In addition, maintaining a desirable weight can reduce the chances of ever developing the disease. So any diet works. The question is the one that you've chosen sustainable? You need to choose something that is sustainable for you. And you can look wherever, you can Google it, type in diet, and there are a myriad different types of diets out there. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry has got their own theory about what the next best diet in the world is going to be. But you need to find what's going to work best for you. Your best chance of reaching that healthy weight is to engage in regular physical activity with a combination of aerobic and strength training exercises. And I'm going to add in something over there and say, not just physical activity, but also diet and lifestyle. Because you can have the regular activity, But if you're still sitting down, so you can go and do parkrun, which is a 5 kilometer jog, but then you go and you sit down and you stuff your face full of 4 bags of chips, and there's 3 hamburgers next to you and a 2 liter bottle of Coke on the other side, directly after your park run, you've wasted your efforts. It's not going to happen. So you've got to change your diet and your lifestyle. Omega-3 fatty acids, probably one of my favorite things. Dietary fats can influence inflammation, which is a major factor in rheumatoid arthritis. Fat or oil, think of oil on a rusty joint or on a rusty hinge. You've got a hinge that goes and it creaks and groans and goes crazy, and you put a little bit of oil on there, suddenly it goes silent. We have the same thing. We take the correct fats and oils, and the creaking joints tend to go away. It worked for me. This is the type of arthritis, the rheumatoid type, that occurs as a result of the body's immune system mistakenly launching an attack on the joints. So it's an autoimmune disease. Now, omega-3 rich fish oil may show some benefit in inflammatory arthritis, such as rheumatoid arthritis. And this is one of the things that I started to use with my arthritis, which is osteoarthritis, just by the way. It is too soon to know if foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids also will be helpful. So, like anything, a supplement is in conjunction to. Look at your diet first. If you're not getting 4 to 5 servings of oily fish per week, you need to get it in a supplement form. However, these foods have other health benefits as well, especially in the prevention of heart disease. So by eating your omega-3 rich foods, not only do you help your arthritis, possibly prevent it, but it also has a bonus of keeping your heart healthier as well. The best source are from fish such as salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring, and tuna. Your best source of omega-3s comes from your cold water fish. You can find omega-3 fatty acids in pretty much any meat and also in a lot of plants. However, it all depends on the quality. So you get different qualities of oils. The fish that live in the cold waters, we're not talking 25-degree waters off the coast. We're talking about 2-degree waters in the Arctic. The fish that live up there have got because they're living in the cold water, need the best insulation. Therefore, they need the most amount of fat. Therefore, they have the best source of, or the most potent source of the omega-3s. Other omega-3 sources, which are less potent than fish, include ground flax, flaxseed oil, walnuts, and to a limited degree, green leafy vegetables. As I said, you can find omega-3s in most things. The next thing is your saturated and trans fats. Some studies suggest a possible link between chronic inflammation and saturated fats found in red meats, full-fat dairy foods, butter, and poultry skin. And there are a lot of other studies that contradict those studies as well. So it's very, very difficult to get a true reflection. And as has been said, quite often with scientists, no disrespect to them, but the idea is you have an idea and you look for the proof. So you go all out to prove that your idea was right. But at the same time, you can also prove, if you're looking for it closely enough, you can find the proof to prove that your idea is wrong. It all depends what you're looking for. Similar suggestions have been made for trans fats, which are found in hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils, and some margarine brands. So some margarine brands, French fries, and other fried foods, junk fats, in other words. Monounsaturated fats, namely olive oil, seem less likely to increase inflammation. So far, there are no clinical trials that prove this type of heart-healthy diet is good for arthritis. So they've done the trials for heart, but not arthritis. Vitamin D is another big one. Research studies have linked low blood levels of D with an increased risk of both osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. Additional research shows that osteoarthritis gets worse 3 times faster in people with inadequate vitamin D in their diets compared with those who have sufficient D. Currently, the Institute of Medicine recommends that adults get 600 to 800 IU per day of vitamin D. Many experts advise 1,000 IU per day. According to the IOM, doses of up to 4,000 IU per day are safe. Only a few foods are particularly rich in vitamin D. So if you're not getting those foods, I would suggest you supplement. And these foods include your oily fish and fortified milk and orange juice. Hence, most people need to supplement their diets with extra vitamin D. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin because ultraviolet light, with ultraviolet light shining on your skin, your liver can take that ultraviolet light and create vitamin D. Trouble is, most of us do not spend enough time outside. And the darker your skin, the less vitamin D is converted, because dark skin means your body's trying to protect you from the ultraviolet light. Therefore, there's less getting in. A multivitamin typically provides 400 IU of vitamin D. And we have our own vegan D as well, which gives you a little bit more. Seeking out some safe sun, which is 10 minutes without sunscreen a few times per week, provides a nice D dose as well. But that is not at midday in Africa. That sun will toast you very, very quickly. Fruits and veggies, specifically the brightly colored ones, such as oranges, bell peppers, pumpkins, tangerines, and papayas, contain carotenoids called beta-cryptoxanthin and zeaxanthin. Some studies suggest that diets rich in carotenoids decrease inflammation. Worked for me. A small Swedish study of rheumatoid arthritis sufferers who ate a Mediterranean diet, including lots of vegetables and fruits, for 3 months, found that it reduced inflammation and enhanced joint function. Aim for 7 to 9 servings, fruits and veggies, every day. An unfounded myth that has circulated for years involves eliminating the so-called nightshade vegetables to help cure arthritis. This can work in some, in others it doesn't make a difference. The nightshade vegetables include tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, and eggplant. The premise is that avoiding these foods eases joint pain and inflammation. If in doubt, start using a food diary and check yourself to see, if I eat this, what reaction do I have? Medical evidence does not support the claim about the nightshade vegetables, but everybody's different. Now, supplements. Supplements abound when it comes to arthritis, but only glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate have some evidence to support their use. Glucosamine with chondroitin may decrease pain in people with moderate to severe osteoarthritis of the knee. Note that osteoarthritis is the only type of arthritis that may benefit from these supplements. They do not help people with rheumatoid arthritis. In general, glucosamine and chondroitin have minimal side effects. Steer clear of glucosamine if you are allergic to shellfish, or consider only glucosamine derived from a vegetable source. Glucosamine may raise your blood sugar. Chondroitin can interact with anticoagulant and antiplatelet drugs such as warfarin and aspirin that can increase the risk of bleeding. And that is where you need to look at the ingredients and the source. L-glucosamine is derived from shellfish. However, it has been processed that the protein that causes the allergy has been removed. Therefore, it is generally considered safe in people who do have a shellfish allergy. I don't know of anybody who has had an issue with our glucosamine if they are allergic to shellfish. So glucosamine, my favorite one, which is the basic building block of cartilage. And glucosamine is an amino sugar. The word itself is a combination of an amino acid, glutamine, and a sugar, glucose, normally found in healthy cartilage. It is synthesized by many cells in our body, but it is concentrated in joint cartilage. Glucosamine functions as the basic building block of cartilage by first being a basic building block of glycosaminoglycans, or GAG, which themselves make up very large structures known as proteoglycans. Without adequate glucosamine, proteoglycans synthesis, I'm running out of time, by chondrocytes would shut down, and this in turn would cause the synthesis of cartilage to stop. Glucosamine makes up 50% of one of the most important GAGs, hyaluronic acid, which acts as a glue that holds your cartilage matrix together. Hyaluronic acid is also a critical component of synovial fluid, which lubricates joints and keeps cartilage smooth and healthy. So how does it work? Studies have shown that glucosamine stimulates the chondrocytes, which is your cartilage cells, to synthesize more collagen and proteoglycans, the molecules responsible for establishing cartilage matrix and for the resilience of cartilage. Scientists believe that the amount of glucosamine at the joint determines the worn out of proteoglycans and collagen produced. End result would be healthier cartilage. Again, it has worked for me. In this way, glucosamine can help the body repair damaged or worn out cartilage. It works at the cellular level to reinforce our natural repair ability. Glucosamine has also been shown to inhibit the proteolytic enzymes that are responsible for breaking down cartilage and to have an anti-inflammatory effect in osteoarthritis. Please note, this does not work instantly. It took me roughly about 5 to 6 months of daily use of glucosamine before my creaking joints stopped creaking. The pain, that disappeared very quickly within a few days. The creaking joints, that took, as I said, 5 to 6 months. The cartilage is a slow-growing tissue. So where do you get it from? As mentioned before, glucosamine is manufactured by specific cells that have the ability to combine the amino acid glutamine and the carbohydrate glucose. Some glucosamine also enters the body through the diet from the consumption of animals and fish. During the development years, the body is at its most efficient in terms of glucosamine production and cartilage creation, maintenance, and repair. High production efficiency of glucosamine in cartilage is a necessity for growth and development. Scientists believe that as the body ages, its efficiency or capacity for producing glucosamine and ultimately cartilage declines, resulting in prolonged periods where demand for glucosamine production for cartilage regeneration or repair exceeds the supply. Think marathon runners. So when demand exceeds the supply, throughout our lives, there is constant demand on the body to create, maintain, repair, and regenerate cartilage and the glucosamine from which it's made. As previously mentioned, glucosamine is made in many cells of the body by the biological combining of glucose and glutamine. However, the process is very complicated, and as we age, the body's efficiency and capacity to produce glucosamine and thus cartilage can be dramatically restricted. This loss of glucosamine production, combined with an increase in demand due to physical activity or age-related cartilage degeneration, can result in a situation where demand for glucosamine exceeds supply. The result is the pain, stiffness, and loss of mobility known as osteoarthritis. So does the supplementation really work? I'm going to try and spin through this quickly. Because the body's complex process of cellular manufacture or biosynthesis results in a circulating pool of stable glucosamine in the body, many scientists believe that providing the body with increased amounts preformed glucosamine will help keep supply ahead of demand and thus stop or even reverse degenerative cartilage loss. Several studies have explored the effects of glucosamine supplementation, and studies documenting the effects of giving subjects a dose of 1,500 milligrams of glucosamine followed the participants over a 3-year period and found that glucosamine can slow the breakdown of cartilage, the breakdown of joint cartilage. Results from double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical studies consistently illustrate glucosamine's role in joint cartilage production. Glucosamine has been shown to slow down or stop the progression of arthritis of the knee, finger joints, hip, and spinal discs. Studies have shown glucosamine is also effective in addressing the symptoms of osteoarthritis, particularly joint stiffness, pain, and decreased range of motion. And I can say it has worked very, very well for me. Right, does anybody have any questions or comments? We have 4 minutes left. I'm just going to stop